Hello.
Hiya.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm enjoying the sunshine.
Totally, I know. Although to be fair, I've decided I am a girl designed for warmer climates. So I just got back from Dubai. You probably saw all the pictures everywhere. And
You can't use your Canada Goose in July, right?
yeah, totally. It was 45 degrees in Dubai, and I absolutely loved it. It was flipping roasting hot. But yeah, I'm trying to hold on to the suntan as long as possible.
My life at the moment is just countdown to my holiday. 3 weeks to go.
When are you going? Where are you going?
Mallorca.
Lovely.
So we've got a place over there, a little boat, and just kind of take the kids, everyone, and have fun.
Oh, totally. So for those of you that don't know who you are Robert. You're a Rob or a Robert?
I've been called worse, so yeah, Robert, I don't know.
I always called you Robert. I sort of feel like I'm really official, like you've done something wrong.
Most people call me Rob.
Rob. So for the benefit of those that are watching, so Rob is a client of mine, and he's in a business with a guy called Anthony, and the firm is called First Wealth. Now, so just for the benefit of everybody, tell us a little bit about you and a little bit about First Wealth, please.
So I founded First Wealth with Anthony about 9 years ago. First Wealth came out of our previous company, which was First Financial, which was a kind of really old school traditional IFA. Anthony and I used to work together at Chase the Beer, kind of kept in contact, always kind of thought there's got to be some type of other or better way of running a business. So eventually I kind of took all my clients from First Financial, he brought all of his clients from his previous business, and we founded First Wealth, and we've been going kind of great guns ever since. Our kind of motto has always been, when we've kind of been running the business, has been, as soon as we stop having fun, as soon as we can stop growing it, that's the kind of jacket.
Totally.
We haven't.
And that's massively kind of who you are as a team, isn't it? Like, that was one of the things that struck me when I kind of was walking down the Mews in Marylebone, and it was all dead trendy, and and then obviously I sort of met the two of you, and that's kind of your thing, isn't it? You're like, you're really spunky and funky, and was that deliberate?
Yeah, we're aware of what we are, and so we kind of think that there's a place in the market for it, and I was honest, well, if there isn't a place in the market for it, we're going to create a place in the market.
Yeah.
We're not Mayfair 8-panelled rooms. I'm wearing a t-shirt today. I wear a t-shirt in front of clients.
Yeah.
I own lots of nice suits as well, and I can wear those if I need to. But it's not what we're about. If someone doesn't like the way I kind of dress, or the zero skin fade that I do on my hair, that's not necessarily the type of people I want to be working with. We believe we kind of will impress people with our advice and what we're all about, and the approach which we come to it, not to meet a stereotype of what they're expecting. So you're right, when you walk into our office, you don't expect it to be a finance business.
No.
We're surrounded by media types, etc. You're very much right. That's what we're about. It's kind of a little bit is kind of, we want to be contrarian and different, but it's also just that's who we are and where we.
Yeah, and also, like, so how, I mean, obviously, you are quite ballsy as a business, and obviously you've had a very busy, as a business and as individuals, like, you've been popping awards all over the place. I mean, I know that obviously when I first met you, that was a big thing. If you're going to do something, Christ, just be the best and amazing at it. Do you think that's been the reason, like, your flipping cabinet's getting full of the bling literally on an ongoing basis?
Yeah, I think it's a combination between being really ambitious and probably being a little bit arrogant in terms of kind of, about who we are. And it's kind of, look, we know what we're doing. We think what we're doing is brilliant and the best out there. And it was kind of at the back to why, where we heard like that phrase, I think it was Steve, stand up and quote to someone else and said, be the best so you can't be so good that you can't be ignored.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want people to ignore us. It's
no.
like we're doing great things, but no one knew about us 2 or 3 years ago. So it's like, right, let's win all these awards. And that's where we kind of committed and said, right, we're going to just enter everything.
Well, it's amazing. It's interesting. I was having obviously that tweet I pumped out this morning about excited about the well, I've had a couple of messages going, I've been watching the guys at First Wealth, and like can you tell me a bit more about them? And I was like, well, you can watch the web wow hour when it goes live. But I think that's right. I think you've been a bit diva-ish, really, and just kind of gone, we're not just going to be the norm. But so it's interesting. So as I was talking at one of my previous podcasts and the Wow Hour, was you kind of got a choice. You either kind of bob along as an advisor and as a business that's just doing enough to just get by, or you just burst the balls out of it and you just go for it, don't you? What is
exactly.
What is it in your makeup, do you think, that is that ballsy bit? Is it personality, or is it the bounce between you and Anthony, or something else?
I think it comes down to one of our kind of core values which we have as a business, and that is one of those core values is ambition. And it is, we are ambitious, and I think all too often kind of people kind of, sometimes perceive ambition with greed, and we don't we're not scared to be ambitious. We're not scared to go out there and try and be the best.
No.
We're not scared to set our vision of literally quadrupling the size of the business over the next 10 years. And we're not scared of making big profits. And again, what we find is we're sharing these stories with our clients, and they want us to be like that.
Yeah.
Our clients want us to be the best. They want us to be ambitious. They want us to do well. They want us to have all the rewards, because those are the people we're attracting to.
It's interesting. Like I was chatting to an advisor, and we were talking about kind of wow, and and all this kind of how do you wow clients, and they wanted a wow lifestyle, so they wanted to wow clients. And then there was almost this kind of break in the conversation, and he said, but I have a different car that I go to client meetings in. And I was like, like when you just think, did I just hear that right? And he's like, well, no, because if I went in my car, which is a Tesla, right, he's like, clients would not like it. And I'm sitting there thinking, then surely you're working with the wrong clients. Surely, like, be you.
Again, that's the classic, you're not being honest to yourself, are you?
Totally.
You're not being honest to yourself or to your clients, if that's who you're trying to pretend to be someone else.
I exactly agree, because then there's no authenticity in it. The thing that strikes me about you guys is you're kind of rough around the edges and a bit funky, and that comes across. But that's how you are as people, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think, like I said, I think too many people are scared to be like that. And that point is if you've got to be yourself, and you'll attract the similar types of people.
Yeah, I agree.
If you can't be, then I think people will look through you and see, you'll get found out somewhere along the line.
Yeah. Do you reckon, because obviously you and Anthony are quite young, like in comparison to the kind of average age in the market, which is like 55, do you think that adds, I mean, obviously adds something different to your business and brings something different to your business, but do you think is almost like a physical age or a mental age? Like, do you think you've got older advisors who could be super, as ambitious? Do you think it's a mentality thing? Because people will be sitting there going, "Oh, look at them! They're young and they've got their whole career ahead of them," kind of thing. But I don't think that's it. Somehow, do you know what I mean?
No, it's not. I started my own business in financial services when I was 24. The challenges I came up against at that point is when you're a 24-year-old with kind of very little experience behind you, trying to kind of advise clients. I mean, you kind of thicken your skin, and you understand, how to, you make mistakes along the way, and how that you make that approach. But I think it's got to be built into you as an individual in terms of the experience and the age. I think it's just people using excuses.
Yeah. And how do, because obviously I know you and I know Anthony, and you're both quite fiery. That's sometimes not easy to work with, because obviously there's people with business partners who don't get on, and there's business partners that get on amazing. How do you and Anthony manage that massive amount of drive in a business? How do you two work together to just nail it, so it just works? Because it has to work.
Yeah. Maybe on the outside looking, you've been involved in some meetings with us where you kind of seen it forget out.
You've never had a scrap. I mean, we get.
It doesn't always 100% work, but we always get there. But the point with being kind of so far and ambitious is we're both like that. It's just that it honestly just comes out to the forefront of it all. And as long as you're honest, you might disagree with each other. Neither of us have hidden agendas.
No, totally.
You kind of see people kind of argue with their business partners because someone's not actually being honest about their wants. We'll kind of bash it all out in a meeting, and then we'll walk away from that and know where we're going to head. And it's that kind of honesty which has kind of made a success.
Well, it's right. It's like you tell it like it is. You know, there's no, we're not blowing smoke up anybody's backside. It's raw and it is how it is. You know, business is not an easy thing to be in. And I loved that dynamic with you and Anthony. And I know at points we was like, here he goes again kind of thing. But that's him. And that combination working with you, because your focus was massively on the financial planning, wasn't it? Like, you know, getting it right, flipping, absolutely nailing it. That was your thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think I've always struggled because I think I've always, when we kind of talked about the organisation, I think I've always kind of liked the idea of being a visionary, but not necessarily thinking that I've got the right traits to kind of be it. And so that's where, I've kind of thought it would be nice to be in that kind of position, but it's probably actually not me. Whereas actually what I really am good at and what I probably really do actually like doing the most is financial planning, is sitting in front of the clients. So whereas from Anthony, it's kind of slightly different. It's more kind of take that kind of more top-down approach. And certainly as we grow, maybe my kind of role becomes a different one in terms of how I'm doing the financial planning. Maybe not seeing quite as many clients, but maybe being kind of in charge more of the other financial planners. And kind of do some more of that kind of top-down business. Well, you're like you work well. I mean, you work well together. And how's Claire? What's going on with Claire these days? She all right? Claire is doing great. We're just kind of doing a big piece now, which is probably. Can you still see me? Yeah. And we're just doing a big piece now, which is kind of long overdue. Which is starting to look into the segmentation of our clients.
Oh yeah,
when we kind of like look at all of our kind of issues which we've got at the moment, I think so many of them boil down to not having a properly segmentation strategy. So we're just doing that. Plan is to hire a practice manager as well.
Yeah, great, good job.
So again, I think those are the kind of core things, because that's going to help free up Claire's time, because I know Claire is kind of involved with so much of that stuff, and she shouldn't be.
Well, it's interesting because obviously when we first got together and started talking about shaping the business, it's almost like you needed those things now, but you have to work through a natural progression, don't you? You kind of have to get, because I was like, well, you need a business manager. It's flipping obvious, right? But the problem is, as you work through, you're seeing things that you couldn't yet see at that point. So it's all progress. It's amazing. Yeah, that's good.
Exactly. And I think, we're always wanting to kind of push harder and push quicker, but the kind of tools you use to get to different points, you've got to kind of you've got to sit down and reignite it again. You can't. We've kind of grown the business to a stage. We've now got a kind of vision again of where we want to get to. The way in which we do that is going to be totally different to the way in which we did it before.
Oh, totally.
As much as we can, I suppose that's the frustration with being kind of ambitious, is you want to run at 100 miles an hour and you want to do everything now, but you've got to kind of think, well, that next growth now is probably going to take a bit longer. Do it but
it's moving. The point is you're moving, and you're moving in the right direction, aren't you? So in terms of plans for the business, is it just continued growth, or are you're going to stay in the same offices? Have you got any kind of?
We've committed to the current offices now, so we're just about to sign a new lease in Marylebone, another 5-year lease, but with a 3-year break. We think that we can probably take about another 5 or 6 people here up in Marylebone where we are at the moment.
Good. Okay.
Which probably is difficult. I think if the difficulty is always is finding the right people to kind of join it. So if we kind of find those people, if we do outgrow this offices quicker, we'll get another site up in Marylebone.
Yeah. So on that point, because obviously when we went for Smoothie, we were talking about your growth plans for the business. So there's been a few firms, for example, where I've put advisors with firms, and I met a guy who was at one of the CISI meetings in London, and he came up to me and he said, I'm not happy where I am. I'm looking for a new home. But the thing was, it was just after we went for Smoothie. Now I look at this guy and I look at your business and I was like, nah, that's just not going to work. It just wasn't the right fit. Are you, and as I promised, my eyes are peeled all the time for you. But obviously this is going to be watched by how many, who knows. But what do you need? Like, what are you looking for as a business now to take you to the next step? Because let's try and get it out so we can, if anyone's watching this and think, I need to work with them, who is that ideal person for you?
What, from an advisor point of view?
Yeah,
what we need a practice manager. We need someone who can run all the projects for us. That's kind of key. Someone who is going to be able to kind of take the ideas and stuff which we've got and implement it. And that's always been our big issue.
Yeah.
Because so many of, we like to think we've got loads of brilliant ideas, but we're very bad at implementing and at the time to kind of do it. So we need that kind of integrator role, and that's going to be kind of a key hire for us over the next kind of 3-4 months. Then on top of in addition to that, we're looking at advisors, but very much what we kind of call, to use the term old school means being, and we don't necessarily want old school people, but we want hunters. We want people who can open doors. Don't want someone who can just come in and be technically brilliant. In my opinion, that's a given when I'm giving it.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Someone who is technically brilliant is just the standard and is the norm. Someone who's chartered, I'm just assuming that anyone we kind of see is like that. I want someone who can physically go and bang down doors, open doors, get new people, new introducers. And those people are difficult to find. I did it when I kind of first started up and doing, and that's all I was doing was banging down doors, just getting in front of people, and that's the process. But I want other people out there doing.
And do these advisors, do they need to come with client banks? Do you want them with client banks, or?
No, if they've got clients, then great. But like I said, it's essentially, chances are, if they've got existing client banks, they're not probably going to necessarily be the right type of clients for them.
Okay,
not in their entirety. If they've got clients, then great. But very much, someone who we can kind of show the First Wealth way, and they can go out there and preach it and kind of get it to people.
Yeah.
And give people the support, whether it's scripts, whether it's all of the kind of tools which they need to kind of go out and get in front of people. And like I said, our success rate is really great when we get in front of people.
Yeah, totally. So, I mean, just to kind of back that up. So, in terms of, if anyone's watching this that is probably in a senior administrative role in their current firm, but they're finding it's a bit frustrating because the firm's just not as ambitious and is not as driven as probably that person is, then working with the likes of Rob and Anthony and obviously in Claire is almost like the perfect home to just whatever you think you can achieve, the guy, you put your mind to it and you just get cracking, don't you? The same for advisors. You can almost see the I can see the advisors that wouldn't fit. But I think if you're that advisor with a bit of something about you, what you want, a bit of drive, a bit of ambition, then I think it's a great place to get some smashing support, because the support that you have internally as a team is growing and is better than probably it was, but it's there for the advisors to call on, isn't it?
Yeah, we're looking for people who are excellent. We're looking for people who are ambitious. We're looking for people who have got respect, not just for not just for their fellow kind of colleagues, but for the kind of wider world.
Yeah.
And also respect for the job which we do. So that's kind of a big thing which we talk about with all our advisors.
Yeah.
Really, don't underestimate what you are doing for your clients, and really respect the job, because
totally.
Our why, we believe it can change people's lives if you do this right. And likewise, if you don't do it right, again, it can change their life for the worse. So we want people to have kind of respect for the job which they're doing. We want people to be happy. So we are kind of like talked about. We are fun. We like to have fun.
Yeah.
Life's too short to come in and do a job which you don't like to do.
Exactly.
Emotions. We want people to be happy and enjoy life.
Yeah. Well, that comes across like that's massive. It comes across when you chat to you back to Y or to wherever, it comes across as that's the culture of your business. So look, what's your obviously you're a husband and you're a dad as well, so you're balancing all this stuff as well. And the thing is, it's we've had this conversation before, but I have it a lot where in order to be successful in one area of your life, it's almost like you have to sacrifice others, and I'll say to people, but I want it all. And they're like, yeah, but everyone wants it all, Michelle. I want to be a great mum and spend time with Ruby and have time with Mark and have time for me and have this amazing life and traveling and all the rest of it. How do you manage to have that drive and that ambition, as well as kind of keeping it all together, and being the best you can in all areas? Because it's not an easy job, is it?
No, but it's motivation is not just about doing more and pushing harder. It's about using your energy efficiently.
Yeah.
So, for me, the way I'm trying to do it is you try and build routines into everything. So, like you kind of talked about, I like going to the gym. So, right, these are the times I'm going to the gym. I like I love my family. I've got 3 young kids. I've got a 10-week-old baby. So right, these are the times I know I need to be at home. These are the times, therefore, where I'm going to meet my clients. These are how many clients I need to see in order to produce the model. It is nothing more complicated. You know, you've got to kind of build those routines into you and live by it, stick by it. So if you say, look, I'm only going to do 1 evening meeting a week, I don't care how big the client is, you know, you can't do that, because otherwise it's breaking your routine, it's breaking your module, and you're right, fine, and the business success of your company might improve. You're going to then be letting yourself down on your other areas. And if you place that business success more importantly than your family, your friends, or whatever, then you're losing that balance.
It's major. I mean, it's like one of the things I picked it up and when I was in Australia, I picked it up when one of the other presenters was talking about choice, and the term that I kind of coined off of him was those that dominate leave nothing to chance. So it's military. It's like I do this in the morning and I get up and I do this and I do this, and you set your own rules, don't you? One thing that's interesting with financial advisors, I think, is that because they're in such a serving, the clients are king business, clients will bleed you flipping dry. Like your clients could bleed you dry and leave you literally by the wayside with nothing left to drop. And that's not their fault. That's because they need so much from you. So you have to take care of you. And I asked a guy that I was doing this with recently, and I was like, come on, like, how selfish are you? How selfish would you say you are, really?
Yeah. What, me?
Yeah.
You have to be selfish to a degree. Yeah. You know, again, it's you're right. I like, my life is kind of trying to be an equal balance of my family, my friends, myself, and my clients.
Yeah.
And so therefore, you know, I've got to be selfish in a degree, because essentially the business side of it I'm doing in order that I can get the rest of that back.
Yeah, I totally agree. And you know what? It's almost like selfish is being attached to being uncaring. And it's totally not that, is it? And I think, you know, financial advisors were a bit more selfish in lots of areas of their life. I think they would be so much more successful. And it's interesting, there's a common...
And the advice that they'll give to their clients would be so much better. And the service they give to them.
Everything. I say it all the time, Rob. You know, like on presentations of, I say you've got to put your oxygen mask on before helping anybody else. Otherwise, you're useless to anybody else. I know. I mean, I've seen on things like, you know, we're connected on Facebook and Instagram and all that. So you do, because the last picture I saw of you was literally like running up a travelator. Yeah. What on earth were you? What do you do fitness wise?
My latest addiction is so I'm very much into the gym and running, and I kind of go to all these kind of crazy boot camps. So I do this thing called Men's Health Survival of the Fittest, which is once a year, which is a 10K obstacle.
Oh my God.
There's like round Wembley Stadium, it goes on all over, they have them all over the country. The London one's round Wembley Stadium. So I roped in about 5 of the guys from upstairs from the office. One of the guys roped his wife in, like,
oh my God!
And a few other friends. So yeah, 10 of us went and did it. We kind of killed ourselves, smashed out a great time, ran up travelators, climbed over walls, swung over ropes, ran through rivers, and then you go out and have a load of beers.
But you must feel amazing. Like, you must just be like so proud of yourself. Like, oh, the man!
You're flying. You do. Like, it's kind of those things. It makes you feel invincible, and you know, it's not necessarily a good thing all the time. But yeah.
No, but you come back to work and you're absolutely buzzing. I mean, you must be.
Yeah, there's no higher than that.
Good job. I'm really excited. I'm so glad that I can't even remember. Was it Back to Why that we first met? And then it was like, we need you to come in.
I saw you at Back to Why, and I think I was probably too scared to come over and talk to you. So like, I heard you on stage.
What's the size of me? Come on.
Anthony wasn't actually even in the session. He was in one of the other sessions because they split the group into three.
That's right.
And so I kind of was there, and I literally just like, I was writing down everything. Like, Anthony came back and said, "Oh, that wasn't very good. I had a rubbish session." I was like, "Oh my God, like, man, I've just been blown away. Like, I can't even talk to you about whatever." He then got on the train home, and literally, I think I just like read out everything. And basically, all we decided was at the end of that, I was like, "Yeah, I really wanted to go and talk to Michelle in the break, but I kind of didn't have the book to my answer." So right, let's just phone and email her.
We'll do it so she can't, like, she's not in the same room as us. We'll just speak on the phone. I remember the call. Yeah, no, it's good. I'm really glad. I mean, I've got some wicked clients, and I have some ones that I particularly like more than others, just because they're just going places. Like they're not just having me in to just, you know, sort out their procedures or to get a standard. They're like laying the balls on the table and they're going, right, let's do it. If we're going to do it, we're doing it now. And there's the thing, I think I'll put it on Facebook, is like, go large or go home. Like, don't bother. You know, you've got to just be ready.
To businesses where they're not everyone's like that in terms of their.
I know, but if, you know, I know. Yeah, I mean, I had a call with a guy this morning. It wasn't a power hour thing, but it was, you know, it was just. And I said to him, if we're doing this, we've got to do it properly, because there's no half. You can't take your business to the level that you have and win all these awards and, you know, go cold turkey on staff and go for it if you're sort of half checked in, half checked out. You've got to literally jump in with both feet.
Yeah.
And be totally committed. But look at the rewards for you guys though, like the awards and the fun and the holidays and an amazing business. And you know, you should be so proud of yourself. I'm so proud of you too. Like it's massive. I always get like a bit emotional when, you know, you're up there and, you know, getting your awards and stuff. It's a big deal. So, you know, I'm really pleased. Look, we've been up on half an hour or so. Is there anything that you want to say or share, or, you know, put a pitch out for what you're doing, you know, for anything? Feel free.
All I share with kind of anyone else is you said this to me the last time we met, is just keep hustling, keep kind of going, keep trying to kind of drive. And I think so many kind of companies, there are so many great businesses out there, but there's lots of other kind of businesses who they maybe look at a company now like us, and we weren't known to anyone, like I said, a few years ago, and kind of think, that's fine, they can do that, I'm happy kind of doing what we're doing and kind of going along. And I'd say to all those people is you kind of just hustle it a bit, like you're missing so much potential. There's so many companies out there like that have got that potential to kind of grow and improve. Even though that they may be happy doing what they're doing,
yeah, totally.
They can be so much happier. They'd be so much happier if they kind of had more time to spend on other things.
Yeah.
Earning money and doing having more fun.
The truth is, Rob, you know, being successful doesn't have to be hard. Being successful is fun. It massively. You know, and you know, when I said to you about the hustle, like, it's almost like when people lose their mojo, they've lost the ability to hustle, and it's like, oh, I'm sort of bobbing around, and you know, you've got to.
Those people say that they like that, and that's the challenge, isn't it? Is to
yeah. If they mean it.
Do they really like that?
I know. Well, I'll be honest, I had a conversation with an advisor actually around a swimming pool a few years ago, and we were talking. He's like, yeah, I'm quite happy, I don't want to be successful. And I actually literally beat it out of him, literally, as to what the hell that comment was about. And what he ended up telling me was that he thought that if he took his business to the next level, he'd see less of his wife, he'd end up having to work weekends, he didn't want to work in the evening. I was like, don't be such an idiot. Like, let's get this, and let's make sure that it's not because you're doing that. And we flipping nailed it. It's happened because of total shift. But honestly, I probably spent 2 hours with him undoing what he'd hardwired his brain to think, which was, I don't want to be any more successful than I am. What a load of rubbish that was. But we got there in the end. So you're absolutely spot on. If it's true and you mean it, then fine. But if it's just you saying it for the sake of saying it, then not. So I'm super proud of you. I think you guys are absolutely amazing. Please say hi to Anthony. Oh, my pleasure. You know me. I could flip and do this job all day, every day, with sunshine, ideally, obviously. But it's been a pleasure, and thank you very, very, very much for taking your time on a very busy Monday afternoon. It is Monday? It's a Monday. It is Monday.
Tuesday.
Oh, God. It's now summer holidays. I don't know what flipping day it is. I'm kind of working in between Ruby and craft clubs, and it's like, I don't know. But thank you very much. I'm going to stop this recording, and we'll say bye.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.